Alright, this one goes out to the hot boys, sweaty boys, warm boys, and people stuck in the same room as those boys. Or girls. I'm gonna ruffle a few feathers, but I'm also gonna bring some assurance to some of you. It is okay to use earbuds or IEMs for gaming. Let's talk about it. A lot of people think that IEMs and earbuds are no good for gaming, but you know, their market is pretty saturated with over-ears, and when people want to like get better headphones, they end up getting like hi-fi and audiophile headphones, like these, particularly open backs, which these are these are closed. And the reason people get open backs is for more soundstage, for a more immersive experience. There is this misconception that the more soundstage we have, or the bigger soundstage we have, the better it is for gaming. And this is kind of right and also pretty wrong. You see, when we account for soundstage, we usually lump in another thing, which is imaging. That said, there are two things that you should be looking for when you're looking for gaming headphones. One, soundstage. Two, imaging. Soundstage is how big of a room you're in when the sound is being presented to you. How far out can things possibly be? Now, imaging is where are those sounds coming from? Is it in front, behind me, above me? Is it really far off in the distance, or is it kind of close to me at 45 degrees? When it comes to gaming, here's my general rule. First off, always have good imaging. It's always good to know where things are in their precise locations, because then if you want more immersion, you gotta know exactly where it is. And if it's like you're seeing something in the game, but the sound is somewhere else, it kind of breaks that immersion. And when you're playing competitive games, you're gonna need to know where things are. You're gonna look the wrong way otherwise. Now when it comes to soundstage, it's very priority dependent. Typically, if you want a more immersive experience in the game, you're going to want a very large and wide soundstage to give you a more realistic representation of the game and the sound and the environment to bring you into it. If you're playing a competitive game, you want a more intimate soundstage, a smaller room. That way you're able to hear steps and sounds closer. This is particularly true for mostly like shooter style games where you want to know where people are coming from. And that's one of the reasons I'm bringing IEMs and earbuds into this equation. They're really good for that kind of situation. And a lot of people just kind of throw them out the door and say, no, you need a bigger soundstage. Well, let me get you a situational problem with that. Say you're playing a competitive shooter in which you're going to want to know where people are so you can get ready for when they're coming at you. On headphones with a really big soundstage, particularly on like open backs, the sound presented to you will be more realistic and accurate. So that would mean if your opponent is extremely far away, your headphones will make them sound far away, but also that means they'll sound quieter. While this is more realistic, this is very unfavorable because you'll be surrounded by other sounds from gunfire to your own footsteps, and if you want to hear them, you gotta stop and tell your team who might be chatting with you to stop so you can listen. But the problem of that is that you don't always have the time to do that. And you might not even catch the sound because it's so quiet because it's so far away. This could mean that your opponent has now gone around you and there are now life-threatening consequences to your decision. Well, in the game, not real life, that would be scary. Now, with a more intimate soundstage, you're more likely to hear your opponent coming, despite them being kind of like far off. While they are far, your headphones or earbuds with a more intimate soundstage will allow you to hear them still a little louder. You're more likely to be able to catch them coming. And this is really important in competitive shooters where you want to know the position of your opponents. And if you fail to notice some audio cues, that could spell death for you. But since you can hear them coming despite them being far, due to the more intimate soundstage, you are ready for action. Another reason to get earbuds? Heat problems. Over-ear headphones and even on-ear phones have always had heat troubles because you got two giant pads on your head and eventually over time you start to heat up. The heat problem is such a problem that there are technologies in gaming headphones in which we use like special cloths, like even sports fiber cloths, and even Razer's gel pad things to try to reduce this heat problem. But the problem is, it's still there. Now to eliminate the problem, you just pop in some earbuds and you don't have pads heating up your head. Problem solved. On a heat-related note, heat is not exactly good for the durability of ear pads. Your ear pads are going to wear down over time and you're going to have to replace them eventually. And that costs money. And the thing is, if your headphones or gaming headphones or headset gets discontinued, there is a chance you are pretty much screwed. You could find some universal ear pads to put on it, but they don't always work. Now with earbuds, all you gotta do is replace the tips and you're good. It's pretty cheap. And even then, the tips don't wear down much at all, especially the silicone ones. Now some of you who've used earbuds may say that they're always very uncomfortable and there's always pressure in your ear. You might not have found the right ear tips for you. Everyone's ear is shaped a little bit differently. And you're gonna have to figure out which one is best for you, which kind of sucks, but once you find it, it's f***ing great. Point is, It's a lot cheaper to replace earbud tips compared to earpads, and if your earbuds get discontinued, chances are you still can find replacements because they're pretty universal for the most part. On another price related note, the money used to make a headphones is also spent on the material. So say a company has $50. It can either make a pair of headphones or a pair of earbuds. If they make headphones, they're gonna have to spend a lot of the money on material, and of course, especially the technology on the drivers and the quality of it. But now it's more spread to pay for a larger driver. With earbuds at that same price, they're gonna spend more money on the quality because the material is pretty small. So more money gets siphoned into the quality of the earbud. This isn't true for all companies because sometimes you're just a profiteering company and you'll know when you see one. Point is, you're more likely to find some really banging pair of earbuds that might be the last ones you ever get for $50. What I'm trying to say is IEMs and earbuds are great for gaming, depending on which game you play, just like the way over-ear headphones and open backs and closed backs are good depending on what type of game you play. Just gotta know what your priorities are. I'm trying to vouch for the IEM users and really warm boys who would benefit from using earbuds but think that they'll lose a lot from it, especially if you're into the competitive gaming fields. So if you're a person who is more likely to benefit from using earbuds and headphones, just do it. Don't be afraid what people say. If it works for you, it works for you. You can kick ass with earbuds, you can kick ass with headphones, but if you kick more ass with earbuds, get the earbuds. Anyway, like and subscribe if this video was helpful to you at all, and if not, well, you know, you can always dislike it, earbud haters. Hit the bell icon to stay posted. I'm trying to do a weekly thing, and I will see you next time.